Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you three different methods of how to tape your fingers in the event of a pulley injury. So very briefly, pulleys are the sheaths of tissue which are used to keep the tendon and the bone in your finger close together. So if you think about the anatomy of a finger, you have the skeleton of the finger, you have the tendon running underneath it, okay, allowing you to flex the finger, and then the pulley is designed to stop the tendon from bowstringing, okay? So if you crimp, okay, so you do this kind of movement here where your fingers are bending and there's a lot of stress there, the tendon will be tempted to sort of bowstring out, so come away from the skeleton of your finger. And the tendon is kind of like the interior biological tape, keeping the whole package together. Now, if you're crimping a lot, as most climbers do, you'll start to feel a bit of soreness in your finger if you're doing it too much. And that is a sign that the pulley is becoming a bit inflamed, a bit sore. So we're going to use exterior tape to help keep that package together and stop the tendon from bowstringing out. So the first method I'm going to show you is called the ring method. I'm going to grab some tape here. So here we have some standard climbing tape, and the ring method is the most common method. It's the most simplest method, and the two main pulleys that get injured are this one and this one here on either side of this middle finger joint. So let's assume that it's this one here that's sore. So what I'm going to do is just lay the tape over the finger like so, and I want to bend my finger slightly, okay, like that, not too much, but just so it's at an angle here. And then I'm going to just pull the tape with a little bit of tension and start wrapping around as if it's kind of like a wedding ring, just sort of working it round the finger there, just bending it slightly. And the crucial bit here is not to pull too tightly, okay, because you're not trying to tightly bandage the finger and restrict blood flow. You're just pulling it with a little bit of tension there so that the tape is taut, working it round and fasten it in place. And I can feel now that when I'm crimping and flexing the finger there, I can feel the support of the tape, and that is basically the ring method. Now what we're next going to move on to is the X method, and the X method assumes that if one pulley is sore and damaged, then the other one by default must be damaged to some degree, and it's only a matter of time before this one comes sore. So let's say I have a little bit of an ache in this part of my finger here. I'm going to use one piece of tape to do both pulleys. Let's get more tape. Okay, so I'm going to start with this pulley here. So I'm going to adhere the tape, like so, pull it taut, and then I'm going to go for, wrap it around. I'm going to go for one full pass, and then going to come across the joint here, like so, and it's not going to be super neat, but it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. Across the joint, go for one full pass round here, and then come back across the joint, and then finish off with a pass on this pulley here. I'm going to pat that all down, and there we have the X method, and it's called the X method because it kind of crosses over the middle joint there. Now I've gone for one full pass around this pulley here. You can go for 2 or 3 if you want, how long is the piece of tape you've torn off. But the whole point here is that you have full range of motion because it's not restricting the joint, it's just gone underneath it, and both pulleys are secure here. And again, when I crimp, I can really feel the support there. It feels quite nice, and I can really feel the tape doing its job. So there we go, there's the X method. Now what I'm going to show you is the H method, which is the newest method. And it's also called the Schufel method because it was first described by Isabel Schufel in 2007, I think, in the Journal of Hand Biomechanics. But essentially, what you have to do is get a piece of tape like this. And as you can see, it's got 2 little legs here. This is actually a wide piece of tape that I've kind of split down the middle on each side. And so what I'm going to do, let's do it on my ring finger this time. So once again, the H method assumes that if one pulley is damaged, the other one is also. And it's kind of like a hybrid X method, but I'm going to lay the middle of the H over the joint, and this does work a lot better if you have wider tape. There we go. So now let's do the front pulley first. I'm going to use this little leg here and come around the top, and if this gets in the way you can just move it to the side here. I'm going to come around the top of the finger, come round and down, secure that, and then going to use the other leg to just do half a pass here and finish that pulley off. That's nice. And I'm going to start on this pulley here, again, moving around, move that bit of tape out of the way, securing that pulley off. Then I'm going to go in the opposite direction with the other piece of tape, working it round. And as you can see, I still have the full range of motion here because the knuckle of my finger is not taped up, but you can see I've got a lot of support here on the back of my finger. Both pulleys are secure now, and again, if I crimp, if I flex my finger, I can really feel the tape giving me support. So there we go. There's the ring method, the X method, and the H method, or the Schuffel method. For your information, this is called the Schweizer method. These are all German scientists that are describing these methods in journals. So which one should you use? Well, from a scientific point of view, the H method is the best because studies have shown, ultrasounds have shown, that when taped up, the tendon and the bone is extremely close together. It's the most efficient method at keeping the package as one. That's then followed by the X method as the most effective, and then followed by the ring method, which I suppose is the least effective. Now, having said that, what is the job of tape? The job of tape isn't necessarily to keep the tendon and the bone as close as possible. It's to stop bowstringing. And all these methods successfully stop the tendon from bowstringing, and they do successfully alleviate pressure on the pulleys in your fingers. So, I mean, I've used the ring method before, I've used the X method, I've used the H method, and I like them all. Most often I use the X method just because it's easy. You know, you just have one line of tape and you just wrap, wrap, wrap. Sometimes I use the ring method. The H method is a bit of a pain in the neck because you have to tear the tape, but it's up to you really. Personal opinion, those are your 3 taping methods to help support your fingers. If you're interested in more videos like this, check out obsessionclimbing.com, and thanks for watching.